welcome to our Sunday stream. Chapati, you're also welcome. Okay, come. Wake up. Okay. So, everyone, we're grateful to see you here. Thank you for joining. So,
hi Ravikiran, nice to see you again.
Hi Jackie.
Hi Jackie.
Yes, today we have obviously a new time for our stream because our time was switched.
Hi Jess.
From summer back to normal, to winter time. And we know that in India you don't switch time, so in India we'll have our stream 1 hour later than usual.
But unfortunately, we have no other choice because we also have people who watch us from the USA and from Canada.
And United Kingdom, all other countries, they
yes,
tend to switch time.
Yeah, they will switch time and it will be way too early in the morning for them to join. So please sorry us for this inconvenience, but unfortunately we have this problem with time zoning and yep. Yep, so today I'm not going to be way too talkative, but who knows.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. I got sick during this week and I still have a slight fever and slight headache and my nose is stuffed. Overall everything is fine and I'm sure we're going to feel much better in a few days, but as for now I really lack energy like a person which is having fever, who is having slight fever.
Hanavi Patel says, "Hey baby," is that referring to Chapati? Oh,
baby,
she's by her
manicures.
Yeah, making some manicures. Haris Kasim, happy to see you. Thank you for being with us. Okay.
Hi Ju, nice to see you. Our week was quite fine, but of course, me being sick made it not that energetic and full of any feeling that I did something important in this life. And of course, the other trouble is that now we are having planned blackouts of electricity each day.
Yeah.
So we're not having electricity for
at least 4
to 8 or even 10 hours a day. And of course, it influences our life greatly. And for us, it's kind of hard to get used to it. Not because it's impossible to do something while you don't have electricity, but of course, if it's evening time, it's actually impossible. But just because, it's mentally hard because your way of life is ruined and you have to adapt to something new. So this is the biggest problem here, and it might take some time before we get used to it and live this new reality.
23 Becky says, I hope you feel better soon, speedy recovery.
Thank you so much. I know that I have to make that just in the New Year's days. Maybe I just need a few more days to lie down on the sofa doing nothing. At times, you just don't have any other options.
Aurora Kiran asks how the situation over there now. So, this week was way better in terms of attacks, and I also connected with the supply of anti-missile systems. So we have a new air defense system supplied probably last week or the week before that. And I think that it's influenced the situation overall greatly because Kiev right now is better protected, of course, and we managed to take down more rockets and drones, kamikaze drones, which attacked our city last few weeks or even 1 month, and it seems better when you feel more safe. And in terms of the situation on the front in the Kherson region in the south of Ukraine, our troops have some successes. They managed to take back to deoccupy more lands. It became slower right now because of the weather. We had rains a few last weeks, and it made our progress fewer than it could be. But anyway, we feel this superiority on the battlefield, and we feel that Ukrainian army still have this advantage and what's the word they use for initiative? Yeah, right. So like we know so many military words right now, so we still have initiative. And in the Donbass region also there we have a good position for occupying like really major places. They are not big cities, but they influence this logistics so much. So this is very important uh, towns of Swatovo and Krymina, and our troops advanced there. So many things could happen like on the battlefield during next few weeks, and we hope that it will be there, that it will happen, and that at least during these few months left until the new year, that our major regions of Kherson and of major supply chains of Russian army in Lugansk region of Donbass will be deoccupied. So we are waiting for that, and yesterday very important and interesting things happened in Crimea, as probably Ukrainian drones, uh, water drones and flying drones attacked the naval forces of Russian Federation, and few ships were damaged over there. The ships which were used for attacking peaceful cities of Ukraine, as they carry missiles on the ships. So those ships were damaged, and probably will have fewer attacks using these naval forces. And
of course, Russia is so funny as usually because, like, when they shot our civilians from that ship, it's fine for them. But when our drones shoot that military ship, they started to tell that it's a terror.
Yeah,
It's
they blamed us and also Great Britain in committing terror as a terror act, and the terror was attacking armed ships, naval forces of Russian Federation, and they withdrew from grain agreement. So, as you remember probably, Ukraine supplies so many wheat and other grain cultures all over the world, because like it's so important to for a
especially
global
India, by the
food
way.
program for African countries, of course. First of all, also for India, because we are a great exporter of grain cultures. So they withdrew from this initiative, and right now it is stopped, and all the allies who took part in that trying to somehow re-establish it to make Russia continue this peaceful initiative and
It
progress?
wasn't a peaceful initiative because on the first day when they made this peaceful agreement, Russia started to shoot our cities and all these ports.
I mean that is a humanitarian thing. It's not connected to the war going on here in Ukraine somehow. It's like we have this grain, we had this harvest during this year and also last year, very good harvest, and so many people in the world rely on that, and they do need it. So it's very important in terms of humanitarian.
Yeah, but now everything plays its role because Russia uses all possible stuff in order to make the world crisis, and they stole lots of grain from us, and now they don't want to give this grain to the other countries, or they want to give it to the other countries and earn money from the stolen grains from Ukraine.
Not really. It's not about money right now for Russia.
Yeah.
As I told you, it's all about negotiations because they need this peace on their terms. They like grabbed some of our land, and then they want to freeze the conflict and to occupy this land, to leave the right of Russian Federation to stole everything from these lands, to loot everything. So they want to stop this conflict on their terms, just not to lose what they actually occupied. So this is their main idea. They lost the initiative, they are losing on the battlefield, and they have nothing else except of asking for this war conflict to be frozen, so they can take their time to
construct more missiles and to get ready to kill more Ukrainians.
Train people who were mobilized. So this is their plan. So right now they're trying to trade with other country, trying to make some negotiations. If you want your grain, your countries or poor countries or countries who are in need in terms of food, so make Ukrainians leave their ambitions and forget about their lands which were occupied, and we will give you this Ukrainian grain.
Yeah, and by the way, during the last week, Russian propaganda could surprise us. We thought that it's nothing more left that we could get surprised, but this week their fantasy went to the beyond of reality and logics and everything else. So first, Putin was telling that it's the USA who destroyed these North Streams. Then it was told from the other politicians that it was Great Britain. And just a day ago, one of the officials of Russia in the UN told that Ukraine, together with Great Britain, are breeding special combat mosquitoes who are made to infect all Russian soldiers. Yeah, so these guys, like, their fantasy, it has no borders at all. Like, yeah, it's now autumn, we're getting close to winter, but even, like, small facts, like mosquitoes cannot live in such temperature, they don't bother Russian people because everything which is told on their TV would be... would be considered as truth. So, dear June, you have to know that Ukraine, together with Great Britain, is breeding combat mosquitoes.
Yeah.
That's something from, like, could you imagine how scary these monsters look?
Jin asks, how is your power and water supply? So we told you about these issues on power supply. Luckily, last 2 days we didn't have any cutouts, no blackouts. In our neighborhood, because in different cities all over Ukraine it happens all the time. But I think this is the outcome of people trying to shorten their power usage, and as our people are, you may know, united and conscious, so we managed to lower the supply of the country overall, and luckily last days we didn't have any blackouts, but it all depends on many things.
Yeah, it's only as for now, so we cannot feel happy until everything goes to its end, and there is only one end in this story, which would mean peace for the world. It's the end of Russian Federation.
Or at least Putin.
Or at least Putin.
We don't know what's gonna be next after he's gone. Of course, Russian ambitions overall, they always were there. So they always had these imperialistic dreams, and there are so many people over there spoiled with these thoughts. And that means that we are not sure whether the overall situation and their geopolitical vision will change when Putin is gone. It might change, but so many chances that that's not gonna happen, because Putin is not alone. More than 20 years he surrounded him with people with either same political and geopolitical views, or just people who are tolerant to him and loyal. So we know that in the Russian Federation government and all the politicians who have some power over there, they are so spoiled with this imperialism.
Yeah, so by the way, here is Svarna. Very glad to see you here today. Svarna is asking, she read somewhere there are talks to replace Putin. Did we hear anything about that? So just make it in a short but understandable. Let's say first that it's a very hard question. So before it happens, we cannot be sure in anything, because for so many years Putin made everything for his safety, for his guard to be the number one, the top in the world. He doesn't allow people to see him directly in real life. He's surrounded by so fuckingly many guards and different stuff. There are even theories. Many people do believe that it's real, that he has a lot of doubles, doppelgangers. So people who look like Putin, but it's not actual Putin. So
especially when Putin has to go on some kind of massive meetings,
some public events.
Crowds.
There is a thought that he's having these doppelgangers, so in case if someone wants to kill him, it won't be Putin to be killed, but he's...
But it's a conspiracy theory, as he's an ill man, has so many diseases, so he changes a lot frequently Like one day he looks in one particular way, in a couple of days his face changes because like so many different processes and many medications.
Yeah, but there are two conflicting theories. So one would be sure that these are doppelgangers, while others are sure that it's because of his health issues, it's because of lots of treatments, and of course lots of his facial injections like botulinum and all the stuff like that. It can really at times give kind of quite a...
He's a big fan of plastic surgery, so
Yeah, he's obsessed with his body and how he's looking. And he still thinks that it helps him, but...
probably he does also this to be more like his doppelgangers. Like both ways, they make it like different operations,
yeah, but
surgeries.
of course, all the stuff like that, if we talk about this, it's only our talks. We could know that for sure only after this war is won by Ukraine, only after Putin is...
So yeah, all these talks about changing Putin to someone else, about some kind of fights in the Russian elites, it's all conspiracy. I mean, there are no fact of something going like that. So, like when we see what's happening in their army, how they rotate some kind of officers and generals, moving, well, like firing one commanders of army, getting another one into his place. So this is fact. This is really happening, and we may like see it and investigate this. But everything connected to what's going on in the elites, whether Putin could be changed to someone else or not, it's like 100% conspiracy. Like no facts for that.
Yeah, so we all hope for that. That would be the best, the easiest, the most quick ending of the stupid war. Because of course, if someone from Russian elites would decide to change Putin into someone else, it would mean that these people are a bit ready for some change in their country, at least some change.
First of all, they will.
But we will know about that.
Yeah, first of all, if they take down Putin, what they want is to have money, either to steal it or to use it somehow. So they will want all the sanctions to be gone, right? To be taken off Russian Federation. So they will need to stop this war at least for some time. At least for, I mean, even if they have these ideas to colonize Ukraine, to take our independence and make us their vassals, so they need this time. And of course, if the war is stopped, I do believe that it's like this point is not a turning back point. So there is no way to turn back for Ukraine. So we'll continue to improve in our military power. We will want to become a NATO member. We will want to become a part of the European Union. So if they still want to take Ukraine's land, we will not sit and wait for that, of course.
For sure. Because, in some cases before, when Russia attacked other countries and took their lands, those countries were absolutely not prepared for that. This is why we no longer have a democratic and sovereign Ichkeria. Am I pronouncing it right?
Ichkeria, right? It's what now calls Chechen Republic. It's part of Russia on the Caucasus. But before Russia fully colonized them, I mean, in the nearest past, in the end of 20th century, they had a time when they pronounced their independence. and this week was it? Yeah, this week, Ukraine was the first country in the world who officially recognized Chechen Republic of Ichkeria. It's not independent right now, occupied as
independent country, which is temporarily occupied by Russian Federation. Yeah, so like in our case, it's just that Ukraine is a very big country. Of course, it's very small on the map when you're comparing that to Russia. But still very small, but very brave, like in the Smiths about Goliath.
The biggest in Europe.
No, like I mean, in comparison, it's still like this Goliath myth. But we had this time to prepare because war has actually started in 2014, and during all this time, our army became greater, our people became braver. We all started to love our country and to understand how much it means to us to live in this democratic
and we also
country.
had these 8 years of experience, right?
Yes, yes.
Because honestly, we have no doubts that if Russia tried to occupy the whole Ukraine in 2014, when they did it with Crimea, they probably managed to do this because our army was shit. Because before that, so many years, it was ruled when Yanukovych, the pro-Russian president, was in charge. It was ruled by people who tried to ruin everything. Some of them, and we knew that, like it was a fact, open fact, that they were citizens of Russian Federation. So in the times of Yanukovych, for example, right, the Minister of Defense of Ukraine was Russian Federation citizen.
Yes, so only now, when all this full-scale war has started, we can now fully and totally understand that Russian Federation was preparing all this mission for decades. They were making everything. They were putting their spies in our governmental structures. They were making this president like Yanukovych, who would be just a puppet of Putin.
And so many political parties.
And of course, if not our revolution of dignity in 2013, 13 it started, yeah. If not our revolution of dignity, probably we would be totally swollen by Russian Federation as for now. It's all that people here are very much about liberty, very much about freedom, and very much about all these amazing values, which are called the Western values, which are hated by Russia. But like, it's crazy to think that freedom and liberty is something bad. It's only in Russia and some totalitarist governments to be thought that it's something bad. Because liberty, it's what makes people. It's what makes the word human to sound like a humane term, not like the worst animals among all of the animals in the world.
Yeah.
Like you can see it now when Russian soldiers enter our lands and just rape our children, our women, even old women. They have nothing humane in them.
Yeah, to sum up all this philosophy we were talking about, I'd say that if in 2013-14 we were swollen by Russia and when they annexed Crimea, if they wanted to and take all the country, they probably could. But of course, I'm not telling that this could be an end of Ukrainian people. I want to say that it could be much harder for us. So I know that in that case, if that could have happened, probably it could be a war of partisans, of like people fighting for their lives, and it could be a great resistance lasting for decades, probably until we could get our
For
land
sure.
back and regain of our independence. So having what we have right now, it's much better, right? We're in terrible conditions. We have war on our land, but we are much better in the much better conditions and conjuncture of geopolitic, I don't know, powers in the world. So we have this optimism. We know that we are win this war. We know that Russia is losing. We know that sooner or later, but the victory is going to be ours. Ukraine will win. We will take all our lands back, and Russia will fail. So we are much better situation that it could be in the way when Yanukovych could continue his regime, or when the whole country could be occupied in 2014. So
You know what I think? I think that in case if we would be swollen in 2014, yep, of course we would still have this partisan war, but we would be occupied by Russia. And in that case, Russia would definitely go to some other country,
yeah,
as for now, and it would all depend on that country. If that country wins, then we would have this chance to get back to freedom. So it's like what is going on now. When Ukraine has started to win, we pronounce that Ichkeria is an independent country. We are pronouncing Kosovo as an independent country.
Not yet. We hope that
Yeah,
it
we
will
hope.
happen.
Yeah, and there are many plans about all those occupied lands by Russia. But in case if we would be swollen, we would make this partisan war and wait for the next country whom Russia decided to win.
You mean anyway we could do our job, but we had to wait for regime to be broken.
Because like in case if we were already totally occupied by Russia, we wouldn't get any military help.
Absolutely.
Because it could be easily be stolen by Russia. So who would want to give
situations
us
like this, it happened as following that some people immigrated to a different country. They could start a government in exile, right? And then they start some kind of resistance movement and try to supply it somehow. But we are so lucky it's not our case. But because like Ukraine had this in the past so many times, different conditions, but like we have this history of fighting and resisting Russia for few 100 years, let's say, at least.
And my biggest dream is that after we win, the world of freedom and liberty will be restored, and Dalai Lama could also get back to his lands. It would be amazing for me.
Anyway,
of course, he looks amazingly nice in Himachal Pradesh in McLeodganj, but I think it would be amazing if he reached his real home and
so
be there.
We are so happy that Ukraine, the fight of Ukraine, our brave troops, and the solidarity of the whole people of Ukraine is a great example to so many different parts of the world, to those who are occupied, to those who seek for their liberty. Ukraine is a great example, and we are happy to somehow be a part of that. So in every sad or tragic situation, there is some positive moments, and we are happy to see them.
Yeah. Okay. I need to tell one important stuff, and then we have to show Chapati. And I think that we are going to turn off because our stream is already quite long for today. So I wanted again to thank all you guys who have joined my campaign, which was related to my birthday when I was trying to fundraise some money for animals of Ukraine who were injured during this war. I have already transferred all the money to the fund, the fund which I really rely on. I trust it. I'm sure that they have already saved millions of lives, of innocent lives here. So I have already transferred all the money there. I have all those screenshots. It's just because I'm feeling sick now and not in the energy. I just lack some energy to make a post, to find a suitable picture and to share all of that with you. But you can be sure that this money have already reached its destination, yes. I just maybe need a few more days to make a post and to share all the stuff with you. But thank you so much for joining us. I was really happy to, like, my goal wasn't that big. It was only 500 US dollars, but still it's a lot of lives.
Yeah,
It may sound like a small amount,
yeah,
but it means a lot. So thank you guys.
And of course, thank you for all your donations and supporting us on patreon.com/travelinchapati, and for all your good words and prayers. And also have a comment from Joseph Paul. I read it briefly. According to the Bible, Russia is the final king of the North. You can read that in the Daniel's book. This king will be defeated by the king of South. Let it be like that. Let it be like that. So, Chapati, come here.
Chappy!
I'll take her.
Chappy is here. Chappy is fine. Luckily, we didn't have. I guess we didn't have any explosions this week, which we could hear.
Yeah.
Which we could hear in our apartment. So Chapati didn't have any stress. And of course, even in the situations when we can hear these explosions and she gets panicked. But we are her loving parents and we do all of our best to calm her down. We forget about our mood at that point. All we think about is Chapati because we consider her as our daughter, as part of our family.
Integral part.
Yes. So we hope that, we are sure that she's quite fine now. Such a playful girl.
Okay, guys. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for being with us. Guys, you make some magic with me because I was sure that I'm not in the mood, I'm not in the condition for the stream. But each time when we are here all together, something
changes.
Something changes, and I started to feel much better, and my mood is much better. So thank you for joining us each Sunday. And of course, we are waiting for our meeting next week.
And I hope you will adjust to this time, and this time is still nice for you. Because yes, India and Ukraine will have 3.5 hours difference right now. Before that, it was 2.5. Okay, guys, so it was a pleasure. Have a great week. Thank you for
Thank
all your
you.
support. See you soon. Take care.